What's going on YouTube? This is Mary. I'm back with an updated Enel deck list. Didn't realize that Nationals was this weekend, so I'm here to give you what I believe is the best 50 cards you could be playing at the upcoming Nationals and LCQ. Apologies, this video is a bit late. I thought Nats was going to be next weekend, so here we are. Right. I'll start with the cards with the counter cards. I still believe that you need a Flampe somewhere in your deck list. I think Flampe is really good. I'm on a little less 2Ks now, but I do think Flampe is necessary for when you're in that top cut. It might not help you get to top cut, but it's definitely good once you get there. 3 Zeus. This is a little crazy to some people. I think Zeus is it's a really good card, obviously, right? But I don't think you need 4. It is just a 2K. The only thing this is good against is green Bonnie specifically, to kill like 5 cost Cavendish, 3 cost Tashigi, 5 cost Smoker, etc. And the mandatory 4 Capone, best yellow card, and 4-0 cost. This list is a little brickier than the other ones, but we are sacrificing a lot of the more of the consistency to power. This list relies a little bit more on 10 cost NL than the one I put out at the start of the format. But we'll talk about it when the card comes. For Kuzan, this card is super insane. If you're not playing 4 of it, what are you doing? For Hawkins. Now, Hawkins and Kuzan do conflict. I will say that. The matchups that Hawkins is good in, you'll not play the Kuzan. The matchups that Kuzan is good in, you'll not play the Hawkins. Which is fine. They're both counter cards, and yeah, I think they're both very good. Hawkins helps you win a lot of the matches you can't starve, right? Like decks like Purple Luffy, decks like UP Sanji, decks like UP Luffy, decks like Red Shanks are all matchups you can't really starve off the top of my head. Everything else you can starve just fine. Even if we are running less of like the starve heavy cards, I think those decks are just super favored and you can starve them. For Giratsu, probably another one of Yellow's greatest hits. I think this card really shines, especially in like the Rayleigh matchup, like just matchups, aggro matchups in general. Like against green, this card's like phenomenal. And we're on to blockers. With 3 Sanji and 1 Sabo. So, why Sanji over Sabo? Sabo theoretically draws you more cards, but this is a lot easier to punish by the better players. But why do I still play Sabo? Because we're on less Flampe. I want cards that do something once 10 hours on the board. A good player will never hit your life unless they can kill you when 10 cost 10 hours on the board. They'll just hit your 10 cost 10 hours. And Sabo really helps because it's a blocker, obviously, and it lets you cycle a card. Why is Sanji good? This plays around like cards like 4 cost pudding a lot better. Even though this is worse against like Usohachi, some turns that if you want to play Sabo, you need to defend. If you're on 2 life, you need to defend your life. Where Sanji, you don't. And I think Sabo can be a little awkward to use. You're defending a life, so like you're technically going like 1 on card advantage anyway. So I don't think Sabo is amazing at times. And let's talk about the Coco high end. 3 Kuma. I'm still a believer on not playing 4 Kuma. You don't need 4. I know a lot of people really like this card and play it at 4, but honestly 3 is enough. You rarely play this. This is really good, again, really good card against decks that you can't starve. Because when you swing with it, see with Hawkins as an on KO. But by the time you really need this, you'll usually have it. I don't see the reason to play 4 in my personal experience. I'm going to play the mandatory 4 8 cost Katakuri. Another greatest hit of yellow. And for 8 cost, we're going to play Kid. So what's changed? Why am I on Kid now? Because the meta's moving with UP Luffy and people picking back up Shanks. I think Isa's Kid is really good. In those two matchups specifically, against everything else, just discard it. It's okay. Like playing 2 bricks, you have a lot of zero cost. This is another reason why we play zero cost, because we're going to be on more high ends. And Ecos Kid is, this really helps. If you draw this against Shanks, you should be winning every time. If you draw this against UP2, you should be winning this every time. It's a pretty crack card alongside 10 cost Enel, mandatory Yamato, and 4 10 cost Enel. Obviously, right? It's bread and butter, phenomenal card. We're still on 2 ace. I still think you should be playing ace, even though you have like more kids. But this is just like great card advantage. Like it's extra copies of NL theoretically, and yeah, card's phenomenal. And we have 4 slots left, which we are on Ultramarine plus Birdzap. This card is really good against green. If you don't like this against Bonnie is super good. The trigger is super good against Bonnie, and Birdzap. If you play against something like a Kuzan and you don't have Birdzap in your deck, you've basically lost the game. This helps so much against the Kuzan matchup on turns where you can just category and Birdzap. So that is the best 50 that I would recommend you guys to play, and that's for the LCQ or Nationals that you are playing this weekend. And yeah, I'm going to talk about some of the other tech cards that you can play in this deck. And give me a second, just pack this up. In case you want to make some changes to the list, I will talk about some other tech cards you can be playing and what I think of them. I have a big stack of yellow cards just sitting here. Right. Mention McKamey, Arctic Gum Gum Giant. Hiyori. This card is really good against UP specifically. On the turn, if you're on 1 life and you have a 10 cost item on the board, you can put a 0 cost. Even if they have a board of 9s, you're almost never dying. I think it's worth mentioning because it's another 3k. We'll talk about Viola and Shirahoshi. You'll see some of these cards are sleeved and some aren't. The cards that are sleeved are usually are in the same sleeves that I use for my main deck, which means I use them more often than others. I think this card just kind of loses to black. Even though it heals 1, black doesn't care. They'll just kill it. Things like Houndblades, things like Aramaki, which you can for free. A lot of wrestling as well, so this card's not too great now. I think there are better alternatives to blockers. Brutally. Trigger card, it's okay. If you're missing cards, it's there. Braham. Somewhat okay in the mirror. You can like kill like a Shirahoshi with Brutally blocker, but bottom thing their stage if they decide to play it out. Obviously it's for like Blackbeard, Rager, etc. X-Rig for Blackbeard and Sanji. Yamoe, if you want to play full starve, is there. Kikunojo. This card, obviously, I see a lot of aggro and hybrid that's play Kikunojo. Personally, I do not like the card a lot. I've tried it. It's there. Obviously, it's nice to get it alive. When you're against matchups that you have to play starve against, this card is just so useless. Especially because I'm not playing 8 2Ks. I think Kikunojo is a little bit lacking in counter, and sometimes like you get these stuck in your hand, you have no way to get rid of them. Very good in like the first 3 rounds of the regional. Once you get 3-0, this card's useless. Frankly, it's not a good generic 2K. Nami. I want to talk about Nami. Obviously, Nami is like good trigger, right? Playing this in 5, the only thing that like is worth KOing is like Cavendish. Against Shanks and stuff, like you don't care. The 5 cost, it's only 5k, so like the body's kind of small and it just dies to everything. So if you're struggling against green, a lot of green specifically, play this card. If not, don't play it. It kind of sucks. Nico Robin, let's play this. Don't play this card. This card sucks. Lucy, my day one. I was the one that invented this card. Unfortunately, this card kind of sucks now. Compote. I'll probably sort of talk about these hand in hand. These were historically really good against blue-purple Luffy, especially Compote. In OP11, I didn't see anyone play this card. This card was the GOAT against GP Luffy because it's a 7-9. When you go first, you play this, you usually win the game. However, the problem with Compote now is that a lot of UP decks are on 9-cost Mihawk, which just kind of nullifies this completely. What else? 5-cost Luffy. This card was really good at the start of the format, but unfortunately as the format goes on, this card is just kind of bad. It's bad against Shanks, bad against Bonnie, bad against UP Luffy. Shirohoji. I think in my list, if you can find a card that you don't really like, you can take it out for Shirohoji. I think this card is like kind of good. Obviously, Honorable Red Hawk beats Koala, beats what's it called? Yeah, beats Koala, beats GP Luffy. I can totally see like me playing this card for Nats, but I think the GP matchup a lot of times is that you don't really need it to win the GP matchup. Tenko's Enel carries you so much. If you're struggling, I recommend this card. Yeah. And the 1-cost stage. Now, why do I not play the stage anymore? I think the stage is kind of abandoned. I don't really think that you need it at all, to be honest. Obviously it's great into Rayleigh, right? But like Rayleigh is just an auto with matchup that you don't need it. It kills 2-cost Kyushiro. You don't really care about it. It only protects 5 or less. So the turn like that 5-cost swings is dead, right? Or you can like pop Kyushiro or something next turn. I just don't really see the need of it. Do I have anything else? Darashi. This is really good against blue decks. Why is it good against blue decks? Not necessarily because it's you draw it, right? Like you're just playing in the pudding, so it sounds a little strange that it's good in the blue decks. But the thing with Darashi is if you get pudding and you draw into Darashi, it's really good. But unfortunately there's not a lot of targets at the moment. And I'll talk about these two as well. These two are fake, don't play them. This is kind of everything that's just in my side deck for Enel. These are the only things I really carry with me. So I swap out my deck list a lot. Locals to locals. But yeah, here are the deck list. And this was the deck list. And best of luck to anyone playing Nationals. And good luck.